right? I was looking at parallels between baile folklorico and the
and I'd always be like, dang, there's someone like me on that screen, right? It's like I would do.
I don't see myself in those predominant white protagonist roles. She's browner, like that's cool. She was browner, and my cousin really related to her, and that she loved her. She started growing her hair out more, like.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Federizo Jimenez. I'm a first-year mechanical engineering student, and I'm currently involved in Fusion and Kababayan, which is 2 Filipino clubs at UCI. The following videos are going to be real interviews with current UCI students. The purpose of this video is to embrace cultural diversity within media and empower those that have been the victim of such. So please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dominique Manahan. I'm a third-year film and media studies major. She, her, hers. I'm here today with Nick.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for showing up. Really appreciate it. So let's start.
All right.
My first question that I prepared was what cultural organizations that you are currently involved in?
So right now I'm the president of Fusion, which is a Filipino engineering organization on campus. But I've also been in all the other Filipino orgs, PUSO, PES, CABA, like they're all under the Alianza umbrella that like watch over all the other Filipino orgs. Yeah, it's an umbrella.
Obviously it was like a productive experience so far.
Oh yeah, 100%. Coming into UCI, I went to an all-girls school that was predominantly white. So then coming into this, it was like so diverse. It was a big culture shock for me, but then also it was a great opportunity for me to explore my own culture in a way that wasn't necessarily represented at the community I was in before.
Moving on to the next question, how have cultural differences made you feel about predominantly white roles?
I feel like usually it's just I don't feel as related. Like I don't see myself in those predominantly white protagonist roles. Oh. Yeah, like when I watch a film, it's hard for me to relate to them just because cultures are so different. What I grew up as, it doesn't necessarily translate to what other cultures have grown up as. So when I see, let's say, I don't know, like in Marvel, most of them are white. So it's like I see Iron Man grow up and he has a lot of opportunities and stuff like that, where necessarily if I can't see myself in that situation because I don't necessarily have those same opportunities that many white protagonists have as well. Like they have the privilege, they have the money, that they have like all these positive things that enhance their opportunities to grow, while necessarily Filipino Americans and other minorities don't have that same advantage.
Yeah, I can sort of relate to that. Like, something as simple as like Disney. Like I cannot expect like Tarzan to be Asian or Tarzan to be black. Like it is sort of not something that's fathomable.
I mean, it was such a good thing to see that the short film that Pixar put out, Bao, like that was the first, not the first, but that was the first like big Oscar-winning thing that Disney has put out that's actually culturally significant. There's like a big, I think it's Chinese culture that they show that food is very important, like the emphasis on family, like all that is shown there, and it's like. It was so different to see from like other stuff where they even didn't want to put a race on anything. Well, so it was a good change within the film industry there.
Yeah, I think it's changing, to be honest. You might be able to tell me more as you're a film major.
Yeah, so I really think that we had what was it called? Crazy Rich Asians come out. We had before they're making Mulan, and they actually casted an actual Asian actor that's not like Scarlett Johansson, stuff like that. Like that my cousins, when they went to see like like Moana, she's not necessarily white, like English, anything. She's browner. Like that's cool. She was browner, and my cousin really related to her, and that she loved her. She started growing her hair out more.
Really?
Like she started like really saying like she has skin like me, and which is crazy. It was like, yeah, that's true, and that was really great. That it's now having a shift in a good school district. So that's why a lot of minorities are bunched up together. It was kind of like, I think it's called de facto segregation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were just, with that, like they are put in a bad school district, it means they get bad education compared to the richer white majority.
We're going to be closing out soon with this last question. How does culture, yours or other ethnic groups, positively affect your perspective on inequality?
I think there's a beauty in the difference, and then there's beauty in understanding the difference too.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Dominique.
Of course.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hi, please introduce yourself.
Of course. My name is Adrian Lopez. I am an undeclared or undecided undeclared, and I'm looking to get into computer science, and my pronouns are he, him, and his.
Awesome. Starting off with our question, what cultural organizations are you currently or have been involved in before?
Okay, I can't say that I've been involved in one, but only for about, I want to say, first 2 meetings. After that, course load kind of took me out. But from what I saw, it was a. I only know the acronym. It's SHPE, and it was like this Hispanic engineer sort of organization. So,
moving on to the next question, how have cultural differences made you feel about the predominantly white protagonist role that takes place in like media?
Within the Hispanic community, I think there was a comedian. His name was. It wasn't about really his race. It was about his kind of like expertise, his like job. Like almost he like brought his character in like the Spanish, like when he was doing comedy onto the films, and I think that's why like they cast him as well. So that was pretty cool.
So it seems like even though they're like ethnically different, they sort of use that to their advantage. Like they sort of it builds their own character, and they're able to empower themselves within like a separate setting. What ways have UCI students united together to sort of overcome this racial prejudices set by society?
During the performance of the Packin', right? I was looking at parallels between baile folklórico and the I forgot what it was called, but you guys had the dresses and stuff, and you guys did a little dance, and I was like, this seems very similar, and so it's kind of like cross-referencing. It's kind of like learning by association. So you draw these little parallels, and you're just like, this is pretty cool, and you get to learn a lot more. It's like it becomes a lot more familiar through that like method.
It seems like you came towards like the conclusion that cultures might look different, but in essence they're not too far from each other. All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm Ryan Miranda. I'm a first year computer science major, and I'm from the Bay Area.
What's your pronouns?
He, him, his.
All right, let's begin. Our first question is, what cultural organizations that you're currently involved in?
Okay, so on campus there's an Indian club called ISC, or Indian Subcontinental Club.
If I recall, you were involved with before moving to UCI. You were
So at my high school was very unique in the sense that it was probably like 50% Asian, 50% Indian.
Oh.
So like in senior year, I did like we put on like Indian shows too, right? Where like different types of Indian dance will come, like Bollywood, Bhangra, Ras. So me and my friends got together. We did 2 Bollywood dances, and that was really chill. Like it made me feel a lot more Indian.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was in high school.
Yeah, I can sort of relate, especially me joining Packin'. That's Pilipinx-American Culture Night. Culture Nights, not even just Filipino, but like in general, like this is a sort of like a unity. This is like a unifying like factor that people on UCI can sort of gather around.
Yeah, definitely.
How have cultural differences made you feel about predominantly white protagonist roles? Like, I'm sort of like referencing to like media.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's actually kind of funny because growing up, when I would watch like Indian movies, and I would always be like, dang, there's someone like me on that screen, right? It's like out doing things and like, or like the romance scenes, right? I was like, wow, I can really relate to this person, right? And like, you know, obviously I can still feel that when the person, you know, is like a Caucasian protagonist. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like I always get more. Sometimes it's against my better nature, right? But I always feel like I get so invested if the person like looks like me on the screen. That's why, like, I don't know, like Indian actors, it's always cool like seeing doing like cool stuff.
Like, okay, I was thinking of all the sitcoms, like Big Bang Theory. Like now there's a Raj. Like he's the token.
You know, sometimes they say like it's okay to like rag on yourself, right? It's okay to rag on your friends. Like I was like, yeah, okay, this is just funny, right? That never really bothered me as much until like I think maybe later they started like because like I was like, wait, do people actually like see Indians like this? I never really thought of that. Oh, I'm conforming to the stereotype. It really never occurred to me.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah. Thank you.